All right. I'm so excited. I'm here with Joseph P. Anthony.
Yes.
He's a psychic astrologer. And I wanted to bring him in actually for a live because you guys know you may or may not know, I'm actually not that into astrology.
What? What?
But I heard you speaking the other day, and I know that you have a lot of value to add to the conversation.
Well, thank you.
And I know my community would love to hear
Sure.
your perspective and what you have to share. So we're going to talk about the current galactic trends and what's coming up for 2019. And
Well,
we'll both share. So why don't
absolutely.
you just
thanks for
start
having
with
me here,
whatever you
Susie.
want to say. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks
awesome
for being here.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Look, unless you've been living under a rock, you're all feeling this energy that at times is a bit nerve-wracking, and we all know what this energy is. I mean, those of us that are awake anyway. It's energy coming from the galactic center. I call it the photon belt alignment. This is what was shown to me. I was shown these waves of energy coming in, and then I studied the Mayan calendar, and they're talking about cycles every 18 to 36 days, Dr. Carl Kalaman. And so this is what we're feeling. We're in the midst of it. It's rampant, and it seems to be ramping up. And it's not very comfortable because we're not used to it. Our bodies, our 3D bodies, are just not used to this higher frequency and vibration. Yeah. And so, but on the positive side, at some point, it's going to awaken something in us, our DNA, our consciousness, whatever you want to call it, and it's going to be like that light going on.
And it's doing that right now.
Yes,
it is awakening our DNA. It is activating that consciousness within us.
That's right.
But if we don't understand that's what's happening, it can be really confusing. Even if we do understand, it's a lot for the body to adjust to, and it's happening so quickly now. Everything's speeding up. Everything is amplifying. It's like, okay, body, you're going to have to keep up. I'm always talking with my body. Do you talk to your body?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you say?
We have conversations. Okay, we're going to stretch today, and we're going to feel much better. No, I do a lot of stretching in the morning because it's needed. Your muscles are tightening up overnight, and our bodies are just not used to, especially the neck muscles. I don't know about you, Susie, but a lot of people, including myself, at times the neck muscles and shoulder muscles are just tightening up. And this is because the energy is coming down the crown chakra through the spine, and these muscles are one of the biggest ones in the back, and going down, and they're tightening up, and they're not used to the frequency.
I agree with that. I also believe it's because some of us are sort of unconsciously carrying so much for the collective.
Oh, yeah. Well, it goes in hand.
It does.
I got to do this. I got to do that. It's like we're carrying around all this concern throughout the day that we need to do this, we do that, and it's like, you slow down. That's what I do. I take breaks. Like, slow down. But it's affecting everyone. Most of the clients around the world are feeling it. Friends and family members. But the whole idea is not to feed into it, not to feed into the fear anyway. Because that's not going to do anybody any good.
Well, from my perspective, when you know and understand what's going on, there's no reason to fear, because it's all moving into the light.
Right, exactly.
And what's happening is everything's being illuminated. The shadow is being illuminated. The dark is being illuminated, and so it looks nasty, and we don't like it. And we're feeling the energy of everything that's being illuminated. It doesn't feel good, but it's a good thing because it means it's coming to the surface. It's coming to the light.
Absolutely. Well, remember, we chose to be here at this time.
Indeed.
To help with a transition of some kind. And those of us that have gone down the rabbit hole, it's a pretty deep one, know that this planet has been sort of controlled by whatever you want to call them, different races, different entities, whatever. And so humanity has not been allowed to come to its full potential. And so this is like a first time in history. Well, not really. I think the last time it happened was this cycle. I think it was 26,000 years ago with Atlantis and all of that. And so we're experiencing it for the first time here, and we have an opportunity to switch timelines or approach it from a different perspective. Because we have technology and we have awareness. And so it's what we choose to do as a collective. This is why it's so important for so many messengers and teachers to start spreading the word. You know, what's real? Who are you?
Let's talk a little bit about that Atlantis Lemuria thing, because in my understanding, what's happening is those wounds are being activated. They've been activated for a while since we've taken bodies, right? But especially more and more people, those Lemurian wounds are being activated. And along with that, though, we also have learned the lesson from that time period.
Oh, sure.
And so we know how to do it now.
Right. Well, kind of makes sense. Absolutely. If you understand what timelines are, they're just moments of frequency at that moment in time, 26,000 years ago, and it's within us, because we're all, we're infinite consciousness that is able to pick up on all of it. So, it's what did we experience back then? What could we change? And a lot of it has to do with the frequency, The physical changes also of the earth are very important.
Yes.
Because she is birthing,
Yes.
She is shedding off,
Yes.
and she's pissed because of what's been going on to this poor planet, in terms of the physical side of it, fracking, pollution, destroying the oceans, all of the other stuff. So, that's part of it as well. So did we learn the valuable lessons that we need to learn about taking care of Mama Earth? We're not. So this is all part of the trend. This is all part of the awakening process. It's not just, the illuminating inside that takes place. It's about what are we doing to our environment? What are we doing to each other? What are we doing to the animals and so on? But the lessons here are compassion, kindness, awareness. That we're all one. We're all connected to the source. We are the source. And so whatever we experienced back then in Lemuria and those time frames, I think it's the suffering, the pain, the devastation that took place, because supposedly, the earth changed and caused massive earthquakes and tsunamis and so on. And of course, there were some battles that took place. And so all of that stuff. Do we want to go down that road again?
It's our choice.
Well, yeah.
We're the ones creating it. This is the thing that I really want people to understand, is that it's not entities out there. It's not the government. It's not, whatever. We're the ones that are creating what's happening now.
Right.
And if we're going to blame it on, these wars are happening because blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
No, we're the ones that are creating it or not.
Right.
The power is truly in our hands.
Absolutely. And one of the most frustrating things, and maybe you've seen this too, Susie, is when people don't know about what's going on or who they are and don't care. That to me is like, really? I mean, really? You want to just stay asleep, huh? Okay. And that's a choice too. What are you going to do? You can't force them.
Yeah.
But I feel like some way, somehow, all the information is going to come out at once, because we can't hold back technology.
We can't hold back technology, and we can't stifle the light that's coming in. At the beginning, you mentioned how the light's coming from the galactic core, and I also get a lot of information from Prime Creator about the lights coming from the Great Central Sun and the lights coming from the multiverse, like places outside our universe now. Things have lined up. Sure. So that more light can come in. So we're being bathed in light. Yeah, sure. we can't ignore it. And those people that aren't understanding what's happening or are still asleep, they're not going to be able to stay asleep.
No, they won't.
And stay healthy in a physical body.
Yeah.
They're either get sick and leave the body and leave the planet. Yep. Or they'll wake up and deal with what's happening. That's how I see things.
No, and I agree with that, because a lot of people are questioning who are they, their purpose, their jobs, their families, where they're living.
And that
they're
needs
questioning
to
it all, and that's the beginning.
And that needs to happen.
Oh, yeah.
People need to question, who am I? Why am I here? Do I love this job, or is there something else my soul is calling me into? Yeah.
The big question I've gotten from my clients is, what's my purpose?
Yes.
Okay, and here it is in a nutshell, folks. Okay,
Tell us.
Here's the big one. You are here to help your fellow spiritual being awaken. You came down here because as a collective, the faster we get to that point of awakening consciousness in others, the better it is for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay? So whether you have a 9 to 5 or you're a housewife or a stay-at-home person, doesn't matter. Just get information out to who you really are. Start asking people, who are you really? Are you your job? Are you your money? Are you your house? Your title? No, you're none of that. You're some sort of consciousness in a physical container having an experience. And when you come from that perspective, it's like the little spark of the, just you're lighting something inside of them that says, oh, wow. And then hopefully that will trigger something where they start looking and start asking for answers and question everything.
Question everything. I was just thinking that.
Of course you
were. Question everything.
Question everything.
Yeah, it really is important. Yeah.
So today happens to be one of those high energy days. I mean, I was up early and I could feel it. And I'm sure you could.
It took me forever to get to sleep last night.
Yeah, that's one of the side effects.
Whoa. Well, I figured it was just because Halloween and everyone was out partying and I was just probably feeling all of that. But there's more to it, I'm sure.
Well, haven't you had those nights where you're just laying there and you can't go to sleep for no apparent reason other than you've been out partying? I know I have. I mean, it'll be like 1 o'clock and I'm like, really? I can't sleep. Just, and it's normal because our circadian rhythm is being completely thrown off.
This is something you mentioned too. I'd love for you to share your experience with this because thank goodness my circadian rhythm has been fairly stable.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that because I need a ton of sleep.
I don't blame you.
So I'm curious, share your experience and your knowledge about the circadian rhythms being changed.
Well, every hour our body is sort of in tune with the frequencies or the planets. And there are certain cycles that are really strong, like between 3 and 4 in the morning. Mm-hmm. Okay? Yeah. When you go into sleep and around that time zone, you seem to be more in tune with the other realms of consciousness. Yeah. And your body naturally wants to, I believe, go to sleep at around 10, 11 o'clock. It naturally starts to wind down.
I go to bed at like 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Which may be why I'm pretty stable.
Right, exactly. You're going, well, the theory is in the Indian culture, from India there, is that you should go to sleep when the sun goes down or right after it, not too far after it, because your body is in tune with the sun and wake up with the sun. Yep. Which makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It invigorates you. You go out. You're getting supercharged. Yeah. So, but even the sun is being activated and affected by this energy. We're in a solar minimum right now that is really weird because there's stuff happening and the sun's not reacting to it. I've got friends that monitor all these sites and all the satellites and everything, and they're saying the same thing. There are waves hitting the Earth, and yet the sun is not doing anything.
Say more about that, because this isn't something that I've heard much about. What do you mean the sun's not reacting?
Well, you know how the sun gives off solar flares or the magnetic fields erupt. Mm-hmm. There has been, in about the last month or so, from other websites that my friends are monitoring, where we're seeing higher photon light in these waveforms that are coming in and are hitting the ionosphere of the planet. But yet the sun is being quiet. There's nothing going on. There's no plasma eruptions. There's no sunspots. There's no nothing. So we know that these are no coronal ejections. We're in a solar minimum right now. So there's nothing, In the last few days, though, there were 2 that activated. So I think what we're feeling today, November the 1st, is we're feeling one of those waves because usually it takes a couple of days before that eruption hits here. Yeah. So we're actually feeling it, and we're going to be feeling it the next couple of days. But these waves affect our circadian rhythm. Yeah. Especially if they're coming at night or something, and it's completely throwing off the cycle.
Is that why everything has felt quiet to me?
Sure, that could be part of it.
Like I hear noises, and my nervous system's super reactive as usual. Mm-hmm.
Good.
But I can't explain it. There's like this ambient quiet. Yeah. I'll walk down the street and it just feels quiet.
Yes, and I agree. But that's you tapping into a higher frequency and realizing what's real and what's not. Do you hear the high-pitched frequencies?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I hear it right now.
Yeah.
And it's been like this all day. I could hear it. It's so loud. And it's not tendinitis. It's just it's a high
tendinitis.
Well,
tinnitus.
I'm sorry, tendinitis, elbow issue. I've had that too, but tendinitis.
I had to. Sorry.
Well, I did play tennis for many years. See, it's on my. But yeah, tinnitus. I'm sorry, tinnitus. It's such a high pitched squeal. Yeah. I hear it right now.
Yeah, and I know a lot of my people experience that too. So
and that's the frequency. But that's part of it. I say it's like feeling surreal. What you're talking about? Yeah. It feels surreal. It's there's a calm.
I'm walking down the street and there's, cars going by and people laughing or whatever. And I just feel this tremendous quiet and I feel like I'm in a different dimension. I feel like it's weird.
Yeah. It's I like to call it centering also. When you're centered in your soul, okay? You begin to observe everything for what it is. And everything does feel weird. It feels surreal. I mean, this is Sedona. We're probably feeling a little bit differently.
We're feeling a little more amplified.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I think, if you just sit still long enough and begin to observe what's around you, what's real. Like, I cannot walk outside and not listen to the birds or look at the trees or the bushes and all, because that's all real. Yeah. As opposed to the billboards and the traffic and all that nonsense. It's distracting me because we're in tune with that frequency. So once you start shutting out that other stuff, it starts to become quieter in the mind. You start seeing what's real.
I'm curious, Joe, if you have a grounding practice that you could share with us. You mentioned earlier being grounded, and I think that's so important right now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What I personally do almost every night is either go out on my bike, I live in the village, so I go out on my bike or I go for a walk every night. Yeah. And I just meditate. Just, say stuff like, I realize I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. I'll do the best I can. Everything will work itself out. Or I'll go out in nature and just say, wow, this is a beautiful experience that I'm having right now. And realize who I am and see what's real. That's grounding. And just being in tune with it. That's it. Don't worry about work, relationship, none of it. That's all just an experience. Yeah. But grounding is that. Just, if you could do it with your shoes off and all that stuff, that's up to you, but I don't seem to need that. I mean, it's nice, but I don't.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I'm already an earth sign. I'm already grounded. You kidding me? So.
Yeah, your energy feels really good.
Well, thank you. So does yours.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It feels really solid, and it's nice because
thank you.
I'm used to being around these high frequencies all the time.
Right. And
not that you're not high frequency, but it feels nice to be with someone who's integrating the high frequencies and still feels solid.
Well, that's what relationships are. They're all interactions with different frequencies. So if you're a high fire energy, you either need some grounding or you need some water, depending on your chart, or you need some air, to help ground it. Now, for me, being a grounded earth sign, high energy I could deal with because there's a leveling that takes place, high frequency, low energy. So there's everything is about balance in this universe. Balance within, balance without. Everything's trying to balance itself in this 3D physical world. Yeah. So the more we realize that, the better. And so when you're around people and you get the sense that you feel comfortable or calm or whatever it is, that's the indicator. That's the, and then there are people that you just creep you out. Like, oh, weird energy. No, thank you. Good luck.
That's your indicator also.
Exactly. That's right. So, and those people are just vibrating at high frequencies, and they need heavy energy, or sometimes they need, physical, chemical changes in their bodies, like medication or pot, whatever they, to bring their frequency down, so they could function. Not that it's a bad, it's a bad thing,
So this is an interesting thing because grounding something is something I've really been having to work on, which is not something that was the normal thing for me earlier in my life.
Right.
I don't resonate with smoking. I don't resonate with eating a lot of animal protein or chemical foods or like the heavy, heavier vibrational things.
Sure.
I don't resonate with, so I can't use that.
No.
To help me.
Right.
So I'm asking because I know I'm not alone in that, and I'm just wondering your insight on.
Well, the earth is.
What do we use then?
Earth, water. You know, you use the elements because that's what they're used. That's what they're there for.
This is so that you're saying the same thing that I would say.
I'm just saying for those extreme cases where people are, like, and I've met them. We've all met them. Yeah. People that just vibrate at really high frequency naturally, and they they get 3-4 hours of sleep a night, and they're not on drugs or anything. They're just naturally freaking. And so they need other things to ground them. But the earth, the water, the elements are the key. Water is very soothing. Take a bath, go by a lake, go swimming. You just feel so relaxed afterwards. Yeah. Same with the earth.
You're saying all the things. Yeah. Then I say.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we wouldn't be sitting here if we were on the same wavelength, right?
I was hoping for like a new little gem or something.
A new little gem. Okay. All right. Let's dig deep here and find a new little gem.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. No pressure.
No, just kidding.
So let's talk a little bit about 2019 and what you're feeling on the horizon.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I'm just feeling it's gonna continue to amplify. The energy is gonna continue to be more intense. We're gonna see more chaotic things unfold. All that kind of thing.
Yes, I agree. From an astrological standpoint, this month, on the 8th, Jupiter enters its own sign of Sagittarius.
Yes.
Sagittarius.
That's me. I'm really excited.
Okay. Now, what does that mean? That means amplifying. That means doing things on a larger scale. Everything that comes along with Jupiter and Sagittarius is all about learning and experiencing, something Sagittarius love to do, right?
Yeah, that's true.
They do. But along with that comes optimism, comes playfulness, comes curiosity.
I like that. I
right.
like that.
Now, if your chart, or if you're the type of person that already gets it and you're in that zone, great. This is going to be great for you. Like us in Sedona here. It'll be great. It'll amplify more of the interaction with the Galactic family or those of us that are awake. And it'll be wonderful. But when this energy amplifies negativity, fear, doubt, hesitation, all this stuff, guess what's going to happen to a lot of people, in the big cities and so on? Yeah. They're going to lose it. They're going to lose their sense of reality. They're going to think that they're losing their marbles because they haven't experienced anything outside of that fear realm. Okay? So this is what we're talking, the good and the bad.
Yeah, polarity.
The polarity, right. Yep. So what we astrologers see coming is, on the one hand, we'll see a lot more information, more experiences, more joy in people, like being elated for no reason or happy. We'll see more of that at times. And then we'll have extremes. We'll have, events that take place, whether they're natural, earth-related, or man-made, chaos to cause fear. That will be amplified more, too. Yeah. And, again, these are all cycles. And I've been talking about this since like 2007, 2008, about what was going to happen. And here it is. It's all happening the way we kind of saw it happening.
You mentioned an 18 to 36 day cycle? Yeah,
the Mayans say that we're at the top of that, that pyramid that they have. And when I do a presentation on it, I show we're at the top of the universal. And those plateaus on the pyramid were time frames. So as we got to the top of the pyramid, the days got shorter. Or the energy got shorter. So they were talking about 18 to 36 day cycles. The day.
So where are we now?
We're in that cycle. We're in that top cycle.
Like, are we day 9? Day? Yeah. I don't know if you have it narrowed down that far.
I don't have it narrowed down that far because that's not my specialty.
Okay.
But let's just say we're at the top of the pyramid, where the cycles that are 18 and 30 and 36, because the way they had it was a day and night calendar. So that you had 18 days and 18 nights. Okay. You follow? So they were basically saying every 18 days the cycles would shift or change, in the day and the night. That's how it was explained to me. That's the way I understand it. In other words, energy is shifted and it's faster, or our perception of it is faster.
Yes.
Or,
yes, I know. Yes.
Something that happened 18 days ago. You're like, what did I do? What was that all about? Unless you write it down. Yeah. That's how fast it's going. Yeah.
And people are experiencing blips in time and time bending and time morphing and things are faster.
Are you not witnessing things moving?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Our trash bag had pink handles, you know, the part where you cinch it up, that part was pink. Now they're gray.
How about that?
I'm like, I looked at it one day. I'm like, what? Do we get new trash bags? And I looked in the box, and they were all gray instead of pink.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, not surprising.
Jumping timelines.
Jumping timelines, yeah, right. Well, what is color? Color's a frequency. You know.
Oh.
So, you know,
the trash is a gray frequency.
Yeah, that's it. Right. It's a low frequency. But so the trends that I'm seeing are, you know, they come in waves, but this big one this month, and then we have Uranus is another planet to watch. Okay. Because Uranus is going back into Aries on the 6th of this month, and Aries represents the self, and it's retrograde. So a lot of people are going to go within. But the big shift is going to be at the beginning of the year. It starts moving direct again on the 6th of January, and then the big shift will be on March the 7th. That's when Uranus enters Taurus once again. And Taurus has to do with money, values, possessions, the financial system, and all that stuff. And so that's where we see astrologers over the next 7 years. We are going to have a new currency. We're going to have new money, whether it's backed by gold or cryptocurrency or whatever it is. We're going to have a new system in place.
Do you have a personal inclination or intuition about what the new system will be? Will it be cryptocurrency?
It's going to be a combination of many different currencies, depending on the country you're from or the culture you're from. I like currency that's backed by a precious metal. You could go into a bank and say, hey, I want this many coins of silver or gold or whatever it is. I love that because it's always been, you know, real currency. I like cryptocurrencies because there's no one controlling it, supposedly.
Supposedly.
You know, so I mean, we're doing that now with credit cards.
Yeah.
You know, we got these fake banks basically processing, you know,
fake money.
Fake money, right? But below all that, you know, Uranus and Taurus is about our material possessions. You know, do we really need, you know, 12 cars? Do we really need 10 TVs? Do we really need things that we used to value? And Uranus is all about breaking barriers.
Okay.
You know, so we're breaking barriers in 2019. That should be the theme, I think.
So am I hearing you correctly in that we're going to need to go inward and evaluate what's most important in our lives right now?
Sure. Taurus represents value.
Okay.
It represents value that we create for others and for ourselves.
Okay.
Okay. So the material side of it is just what we manifested out of the value, our own values. So yeah, so that is definitely part of it.
So this is going to be really important for those on the spiritual path, for anyone listening really, to evaluate, to go inward and say, okay, what is most important in my life? What can I let go of? Because the more you release and surrender, the freer you are to move forward on your path.
Exactly.
So what can I release? Maybe I can get rid of the TV in my bedroom. Maybe I don't really need that after all.
Not a good idea, yeah.
Not a good idea to have it there in the first place. No. Yeah, exactly. Look at your possessions. Look at the people in your life. Look at your environment where you live.
Yep.
What can be released and surrendered so that you can free yourself and have more available for your soul mission. More energy.
Exactly.
More space, more time for your soul mission.
One of the big things I'm seeing a trend in is people moving out of the big cities and into the country setting or smaller towns. Yeah. And that's part of it. Downsizing, you know.
Yeah, downsizing, yeah.
You know, they don't need that.
Do I need a 5-bedroom house?
Right, exactly. Well, if you got 5 friends that you want living with you, no, but just
but evaluating that.
Right.
Maybe you move into a 5-bedroom house because you want to start a community or you want to live with your 5 friends.
Exactly.
What's important to you?
If you're all on the same wavelength and you support each other, great.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I feel like it's going to be like the 60s again, but you know, with technology. That's what it feels like. But that's good. That's real living, you know, when you appreciate life and you surround yourself with people that you care about, and you got life. You know, life is wonderful. And
all of the things happening with 5G, all of the things, you know, all of the technologies that are, you know, placed here to harm us. Do you have insights on how we can transcend that and not buy into all the fear that's being put out about that?
Sure. That phone, the one that we're recording on right now, is the biggest issue. I find myself leaving it at home more often. You know, because that thing is constantly around you. Not only is it tracking you, but you're tuned into it. I mean, the AI is so smart now.
Yeah.
You know, it's literally picking up on things. As soon as you go onto a website and you're looking at something, you see it everywhere. You know, because they're tracking your movement and all that stuff. Yeah. And so, to get away from 5G is to get out in nature and leave that phone at home, and not feed into it, and just, you know, oh my God, I need my phone. No, you don't need your phone. You know, better. Here's what I'm thinking about doing is just taking my little camera with me that doesn't have any Wi-Fi or anything like that. So if I want to shoot a video or something, I've got a video camera. I've got a real video camera. I mean, my phone is high tech, yes, and it shoots great video, but it's just all that other stuff that goes with it. You know, the 5G, the wireless, you know, the Wi-Fi, all that stuff. That does interfere with our, you know, our consciousness. And
what about understanding how powerful we are and that we can transcend those technologies? So even if the 5G is all around us, our cellular matrix can adapt.
Sure.
Our energy can transcend and be in a frequency that protects us rather than...
Crystals.
Nice. Which one is that?
Amethyst.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you. I just saw it and I had to have it. But crystals. I had to have it. Crystals, I keep getting messages about crystals.
Yeah.
Crystals are amplifiers. So if you're going to create that energy around you of love and energy, and then timestamp it with crystals, great. 5G is not going to affect you. It'll try. Yeah. It won't affect you.
That's more along the lines of what I'm thinking, is that because people are going to carry their phones, people are going to be bathed in it, you know, because they're putting up towers everywhere.
Right.
How can we within ourselves know that we're much more powerful than the stuff imposed on us? Because people are getting in fear, you know?
It's a constant, you know, the ultimate battle is within us.
That's right.
It's not about so much good and evil as it is realizing who you are and who you're not. Yeah. That's the real battle. And every day, you know, you're reminded of this. If you live in the big cities, which, you know, I'm from New York and I lived in Phoenix, you're constantly reminded of work, money, travel, things, you know, you're constantly being bombarded by billboard signs and so on. Here in Sedona, my God, it's totally different. You go to the creek, you're driving down, you see these big orange mountains, and you go, oh, life is wonderful. That's it. That's, you know, that's what you need to do on a regular basis, is take in nature or and get out there and realize what's real.
And if you live in a city, get a potted plant for your home. Get the crystals. Get the shungite. Get the tourmaline. Get the water fountain feature.
Exactly. What I used to do when I lived in Phoenix, when the sun went down, I would go to the park and walk around the park. Nice. And there were ducks there and all this. Nice. But, you know, I know everyone thinks that's a little kooky, but it's not. You know, I mean, the people in the big cities.
I was going to say my community doesn't think it's kooky.
But it helps. It helps. It really helps the psyche. Yeah. You know, and leave the phone at home. You know, I mean, you don't want to be walking around by the park with your phone in your hand. You know, it's like, no, don't do that. Leave it home.
I do it all the time.
Atta girl.
No, I take my phone with me because I'm always taking pictures.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a different story. I mean, pictures are one thing, but if you're sitting there texting and, you know, on Facebook or something, you know, as you're walking in the park and you're, you know,
there's nothing like scrolling through Facebook, walking through the park.
Right. While the ducks are right in front of you, you almost trip over a duck or something. You know, no. So, yeah, it's a mindset. It's a constant awareness of what's real. And so, you know, you got to remind yourself on a regular basis what's real. That's my suggestion.
Yes. Yeah. So preparing for 2019, remind yourself of what's real.
Who you are.
Yes. Remember who you are.
Right. The value you place in yourself.
Remember how powerful you are.
Right.
And I don't want to say buckle up because that's like constrictive, but put your hands in your air, like just...
Well, just be aware. Be aware all the time. Be aware. Well, you know, those of us here in Sedona, when we see a news story, let's say, for instance, on social media or on the TV, I don't even watch TV, but we know right away, oh, more fear porn. Yes. You know, click. You know, we just know. It's just, you know, not in our, we don't want to see it. We don't want to hear it because we know, we could sense it. And so that's the key. When we get to that point, and it's happening, you know, where we could consciously go, no, I'm not buying into that fear anymore. It's not for me anymore.
That's it. That's it.
You know, we know we have reached that level.
Yeah.
You know, and and there have been days it almost feels like that.
And even, you know, there's the external, you know, the fear porn, and then there's also, if you're triggered and there's anxiety or fear that comes up, to look at that and deal with that.
Right.
Because if you're not feeling that peace within, then you're going to just attract more.
Exactly. And believe me, it happens to everybody. We all feel overwhelmed at times and irritated and all that stuff. But that's the most important time to go within. That's the most important time to go out and get grounded. That's the most I literally start telling myself, this is all part of my experience. I will enjoy this. You know, as the frustration is built, I'm like, it's not me. Just energy. It's the situation. It will pass. Yeah. It'll be fine.
I had something huge come up recently.
Oh.
And I went yesterday for a 4-hour, I hiked barefoot for 4 hours yesterday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. She gets it.
Yeah.
Yes. Susie's one of the most awake people I know.
Oh, thank you. I do my inner work, and this is also going into 2019.
Right.
And you guys that have been with me for a while, you've heard me say this over and over. You're probably sick of hearing me saying it, but we have to do our inner work. This is our full-time job, to do our inner work, to keep looking at the triggers that come up for us, to keep going deeper within, finding our light, finding our peace, integrating the shadow, integrating our light, going deeper, doing that inner work constantly. That's what's going to take us through the chaos. Yeah. That's what's going to bring us the peace and the joy and the freedom.
Absolutely. There is a rainbow at the end of all this transition, so there absolutely is, and I saw it coming, and it involves other beings from other places. Yeah. So I want to tell you right now, I've got pictures to prove it. I showed you. Did I show you those pictures?
No.
Not yet? Okay. When we get off camera, I'll show you.
Yeah,
and these were recent. These were like in the last 2 weeks. So they're all around.
Yeah.
So, but when that happens, the consciousness will shift even faster. So, you know, and then starts the golden era.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel it. Yeah. I feel it now. I feel it starting now.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of people talk about the shift. We're in it. We're in it now. It's happening. And we can tune into the frequencies of 5D and beyond. You know, whatever it is that you're creating, we can tune into that and feel it now. It's available. It's just up to us where we're going to choose, where we're going to put our focus.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's really free will.
Anything else you want to share?
Let's see. Let's see here. Let me think. Well, no, just you know, being aware at every moment. Live every moment. You know, and realize it, and live in the now. Like you were saying, live in the now. Just realize it. Get out in nature. I mean, I'm trying to think. 2020, we may have some changes in 2020 having to do, and we'll cover that some other time. But 2020, where we'll see the structures that have been controlling humanity begin to change. So that'll be for another time. But 2019 and 2020, I mean, if you go on YouTube, online or Google, the astrology for 2019 and 2020, you'll see, you know, the trends that are occurring. So.
Do you want to share a website or any events you have coming up?
Sure. Or there's like plenty of events coming up, sure. My website's planetswithin.com.
Planetswithin.com.
Yeah, and I'm a professional astrologer. I do astrology. As a matter of fact, my newsletter went out today. You can sign up for free.
And he's intuitive.
Oh, yeah.
So he uses his intuitive abilities while he's giving you a reading.
Yeah, I literally sit down before my client. I'm not only looking at the astrology, I'm getting a sense of what's happening in their lives. Yeah. You know, so it makes it a lot easier. And we're all intuitive. We're all intuitive because we're all connected to the source. Yeah. It's just, you know, are you listening? Do you know what to look for and all that stuff? But no, planetswithin.com. Thank you. I'm on Facebook.
Oh.
Joseph B. Anthony at Joseph B. Anthony. YouTube. I do videos. I'm going to probably be doing more, but I've got quite a few events coming up. in 2019. One is called First Contact. We'll assemble a group of people there about what's going to happen when first contact hits.
Nice.
And then there'll be others throughout the year here in Sedona, but I may also be hitting the road and doing presentations in different bookstores and stuff like that. So I'm working on that.
Okay. Are you releasing a book?
No, I'm getting an RV.
Well, you said bookstores, so.
Well, I've done presentations in many bookstores, talking about what's happening. And as an astrologer, we could see the trends for 2019, so I could talk about 2019 trends. And I'll have more of that probably at the end of this year, because I'll sit down and start looking at the actual astrology for it, And right now it's just like an overview of it. And then, talk about that stuff and counsel people one-on-one or whatever it is, wherever I'm at. So, help do my share.
So they can stay updated to where you are, what you're doing, where you're going to be, if they go to your website?
Yeah, just go to my website. You'll see.
Sign up for newsletters.
Sign up for the free newsletter, and sign up at YouTube, because I will be doing more videos with my silly phone, from the road or from wherever. Keep me updated and trying to inspire you. Like awesome. I did one video one night. Basically, I was biking and I just pulled over and I had the mountains in the back there in the village, and I just decided to do 1 minute video about get out in nature.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And it got thousands of views. So it's like great. I'm glad I could help.
Hey, that's thousands more people that might get out in nature than before.
That's right. Exactly. Perfect.
Awesome. Well, I have a few things coming up. Our next big event is here in Sedona, April 11th through the 14th, our Codes of Creation retreat. You can go to creationtemple.com/retreat and learn about that. And it's just every week we're meeting with the master creators and the supreme creators in the Creation Temple, guiding them through all the stuff we talked about today, integrating the shadow, integrating the light, and getting that hand holding and support. So if that's something you want, definitely go check that out at creationtemple.com. Everybody wants their hand held.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Everybody wants a little bit of support.
See, there we go.
Yeah.
We do have it here.
So you can have that.
Absolutely.
You don't have to do this journey alone.
That's right. Exactly.
All right. Much love to you guys. Thanks for joining. Thank you for joining. This was amazing.
Thank you.
Appreciate your presence here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great energy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. See you guys in the next video. Mwah.
Bye.